Coming up on AgweekTV.
We'll learn how this southwest Minnesota town is wanting to become the epicenter of shrimp in the United States.
On the Soil Health Minute, we'll talk about using cover crops to manage salinity.
I'm Michelle Rook. The Trump administration has turned up the heat on regulatory reform. I'll have the details here from the nation's capital.
Welcome to AgweekTV. I'm Shauna Olson. For the last several years, farmers have cited the increasing number of regulations as one of the biggest challenges facing agriculture and their bottom line. That's starting to change under a new administration. Michelle Rook looks at what farm groups are targeting for reform and how fast those changes can take place.
While President Trump has already used executive order to roll back some of the regulations that are costly to agriculture, there's more reform on the way. In fact, EPA is already working on biofuels regulations.
It's the RVO targets that are set each year in November. Routinely, the EPA has missed those targets. That's going to change.
The agency is also analyzing if Pruitt can grant a waiver to allow year-round E15 sales.
I very much hope that we can get there. It's just a matter of whether the statute permits it or not.
Plus, EPA trimmed the backlog of pesticide registrations from 1,000 down to 500.
I made it a priority coming in that we needed to get that backlog cleaned out and then make sure that we have certain timelines to get certainty out in the marketplace.
However, farm groups have a whole host of additional regulations they want reformed.
Whether it's regulations at OSHA, whether it's EPA stuff, whether it's transportation stuff, there's a long list.
Top of our list would still be waters of the U.S. I mean, we have got to get that thing completely overturned, see if we can get it moving and get the courts to rule one way or another soon.
The GIPSA rules released as the Obama administration left office are a top priority for livestock groups.
It would open up the floodgates to really costly litigation that would target packers.
The packers have made it very clear if they're going to get a threat of litigation every time they pay for one pen of cattle versus another, they're going to go back to commodity pricing.
However, even with all the agencies working on reform, it may take time to unravel some of the rules. In Washington, I'm Michelle Rook reporting for Ag Week.
The chief economist at the USDA in Washington, D.C. says conditions are pretty flat for farmers and will likely stay that way for a while. Dr. Robert Johansson is responsible for the World Ag Outlook Board, the Office of Risk Assessment and Cost-Benefit Analysis, along with several other major offices in D.C. He says with low commodity prices, net farm income has come down substantially.
We know that over the last 4 years, we've dropped about 35% from where we were. Now it's the largest drop since the mid-'70s. If you don't take into account inflation, just look at nominal income, it's the largest drop since the 30s. So it's a substantial fall in income for producers, for sure. Of course, we saw record high farm income 4 or 5 years ago.
Johansson says net farm income is currently down $64 billion.
I think we have our projections going out over the next 10 years is that will rise by a small amount, but not by significant levels. We're expected crop prices and livestock prices to remain relatively flat over the next 10 years, barring any unforeseen shock to the supply system, which of course, like a drought in one of the major producing areas would certainly pump up prices.
Johansson says debt-to-asset ratios are around 14% on an aggregate basis. They were about 22% in 1985. The news that China plans to once again buy U.S. beef has the entire industry excited. China stopped importing U.S. beef in 2003 after BSE was found in a cow in Washington. China is viewed as a growing market for beef and could be a major player for the beef industry. Currently, China's biggest suppliers are Brazil, Uruguay, and Australia, but some of those countries are witnessing problems. Australia has reduced its herd size because of drought, and Brazil is dealing with a major scandal within the industry which involves sales of tainted meat. Livestock expert Tim Petrie says those issues have China looking for another source to get beef for their 1.4 billion customers.
Since 2012, China hardly imported any beef, and now this year or at least by next year, they may be the world's largest beef importer. So they went from nothing to huge. It's a huge, huge market, and so it's important that we at least get a piece of the pie.
Petrie says the USDA is moving forward with a plan that hopefully China will agree to. He says this is the most positive headway the U.S. has made in opening that market in the past several years.
And so USDA has put a plan together where it would need to be source verified back to the farm, which would be problematic for us at the present time because we don't have that, but we could do that. And we have said that we would guarantee it to be beta agonist or ractopamine free. That probably would not be a big problem. Feedlots, some use it and some don't now, but they only use it in the last 30 days of feeding.
The USDA's plan calls for fresh frozen beef under 30 months of age. Coming up on AgweekTV, you might be surprised at what new crop is coming to the Midwest.
Okay, all you lefse makers, it's time to boil potatoes and roll that dough. Home of Economy is looking for the region's best tasting lefse to compete in the Hostfest Lefse Masters this fall. Home of Economy is your home of lefse, and as an official pre-qualifier, we're conducting lefse contests at 6 of our North Dakota stores. Each top winner advances to Hostfest for a chance to be crowned the Lefse Master. So grab your apron and register online at homeoflefse.com.
Introducing the new Challenger 1000 series, tractors unlike any other manufactured by AGCO. Redefining what a wheel tractor is capable of when it comes to wheel slip, power to ground, and fuel economy. Today, it's not enough just to be tough. You've got to be smarter than everyone else, too. Contact your Challenger dealer today to get in the seat of the new Challenger 1000. Superior engineering, superior performance, superior productivity. The next generation of tractors from your Challenger dealer.
The window of opportunity in farming is short. Make sure your Case IH equipment is ready to make the most of it by using only genuine Case IH replacement parts from Titan Machinery. Only original Case IH parts are engineered for maximum life and performance in your equipment. Don't take chances with off-brand parts that may fail when you need your equipment the most. Contact your local Titan Machinery dealership and find out why genuine Case IH parts offer the best value for your farming operation.
Where do you go for the latest news in agriculture? Agweek Magazine. Reaching over 30,000 farmers and ranchers in North Dakota, Minnesota, South Dakota, and Montana. Agweek provides the most up-to-date information on the markets, the trends, and the people who make it all happen. We're your source for news, not fluff. Dependable, trusted. Agweek. Subscribe today by calling 1-800-811-2580.
AM 970 WDAY, North Dakota's oldest radio station, has added the Red River Farm Network to its lineup. Join veteran farm broadcaster Mike Hergert and the rest of the Red River Farm Network's team as they partner with AM 970 WDAY and Agweek to cover the area's #1 industry, agriculture. Join us Monday through Friday for Country Morning Today starting at 7 a.m., opening markets at 8:30, and market updates will run at 9:30, 10:30, and 11:30. Closing markets will run at 1:30 p.m. Tune in to AM 970 WDAY.
When we think of food produced in the upper Midwest, we don't usually think of seafood, but that could soon change. A company based in southwest Minnesota is aiming to be one of the world's largest shrimp producers. And as Mikkel Pates found, it could also have a big benefit for corn, wheat, and soybean farmers.
Shauna, we're a long way from the ocean, but the folks at Ralco at Valentin, Minnesota and Marshall think that this is the perfect place to raise shrimp.
One of the questions that we get, why Minnesota? I mean, shrimp are typically thought of, and they are, a tropical creature, and the shrimp farms across the world are in the tropics. But Minnesota and the upper Midwest has something no other shrimp farm has. We have the feed.
45% of the shrimp feed is from soybeans. They also use hard red spring wheat, and they are the first company to feed corn to shrimp. That could be a big boost for farmers who grow these commodities.
We're not only building a shrimp business, we are building an entire industry here in the upper Midwest. There's a huge opportunity for us to build an industry built on the foundation of the commodities that we produce here.
Zebo says Americans eat 1.6 billion pounds of shrimp each year, the largest market in the world. The vast majority of it is imported from Southeast Asia, so he says the market is hungry for a domestic shrimp source.
We're talking about a massive amount of shrimp that can simply be replaced from a total consumer standpoint, eating a product of the USA versus a product that's imported from somewhere else. So it's a big opportunity and could have a great big impact on our company.
Their first building will be 9 acres under one roof, capable of producing more than 7 million pounds of shrimp a year. They've developed a unique shrimp production technology that will be fully integrated all the way from hatchery to package for your grocery store in sizes ranging from salad to jumbo.
We can grow shrimp in shallow water. Beyond that, we can grow them quite well, far beyond the expectations that we started with.
True Shrimp wants to eventually support a network of privately owned facilities that will grow shrimp for them to process.
What we have validated and created here is disruptive technology. It's never been done before, and it could change the way shrimp are raised into the future.
If all goes well, Southwest Minnesota could convert some of its high-value soybeans into even higher-value shrimp for a premium U.S. market. For Ag Week, this is Mikkel Pates at Ballatin, Minnesota.
They hope to start building the first shrimp farm in 2018. True Shrimp will employ about 70 people. Drones are quickly becoming an important tool on the farm, and they took center stage at the 3rd annual DroneFocus conference in Fargo this week. Rose Dunn was there and has more. Rose?
About 600 people from around the U.S. and several foreign countries gathered to talk about the latest unmanned aviation technology. North Dakota is positioned to take the lead in this emerging field with the development of the Grand Sky UAS Park in Grand Forks and a $43 million state investment in research and development. Guest speaker Elaine Chao, the U.S. Transportation Secretary, says that's important to improving drone technology.
To further the practices of fine-tuning how best to deploy drone technology in a way that will assuage public concerns on safety and security and privacy, but also understand that this is the new innovation and that there are so many benefits that we can derive from drone technology.
One of the vendors at the conference, Chris Polson of Centera, says the next step in drone use will be providing farmers with specific data analytics about their fields and crops.
So not only giving you the high quality imagery so you can make a decision, but also giving you a unique data layer to both diagnose what's going on. We'll tell you where you have a higher density of crop versus not a high density of crop, and give you a heat map of where that's located, and you can export that right out to the cab of a tractor or to different prescription-based tools to make decisions. So really jumping to that next step is really where I see the industry going. It's more so the analytics.
Although the focus was on drones, North Dakota Governor Doug Burgum says farmers and everyone can benefit from other emerging technologies like autonomous vehicles.
It's not gauged by urban or rural, it's not gauged by age. We have people in North Dakota that really understand the potential productivity gains, the safety gains of us having autonomous vehicles, whether it's in agriculture, energy, in our cities.
Governor Burgum also announced the formation of a task force to develop technology to detect unmanned aircraft and to counter possible nefarious use of them.
Interesting. Thanks, Rose. The temperatures are inching upward as we kick off June. Your AgriWeather forecast is next. And later,
coming up on AgweekTV and the Soil Health Minute, we'll talk about using cover crops to manage salinity.
Advanced biofuel for America's diesel engines is clean burning and made from renewable sources like soybean oil. Biodiesel fuel works in any diesel engine, reducing emissions, helping us breathe cleaner air. Biodiesel adds value to North Dakota soybeans, creating jobs, improving the environment, increasing our energy independence. Biodiesel, it starts with soybeans, it's fueling America.
Martinson Ag Risk Management offers a variety of crop marketing and crop insurance packages to our customers. With over 40 years of experience, our dedicated staff works hard to ensure you get the best advice on crop insurance. marketing, and risk management. Contact Randy or any of the staff at Martinson Ag Risk Management today at 701-205-4200 or visit us online at martinsonag.com.
The Stockyards Ag Experience tells the story of agriculture, beginning with the Sioux Falls Stockyards. You'll learn about how agriculture impacts our region and the world, and the science and culture that make it all possible. The Stockyards Ag Experience Barn features interactive exhibits in a renovated 1880s barn at Falls Park in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. The Stockyards Ag Experience showcases agriculture's story, from the farm to your table. For more information, call 332-1917 or visit us online at stockyardsagexperience.org.
Every day across America, excess food is gathered by a network of good people at local food banks, giving hope to millions of children who struggle with hunger. They've earned their wings, and you can too. Together, we can solve child hunger. Support Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
Welcome back. Meteorologist Andrew Whitmire here. Much of the Central Plains are not dealing with any type of drought situations, but across the Dakotas, we're getting into a more moderate drought. May has been below average for rainfall within the portions of the Dakotas, especially south and northern portions of the Dakotas region. And again, this is very typical for May to end up very much below average. Usually, though, in June, we make that up with an average rainfall anywhere between 2 to 3 inches, locally some higher amounts in there. So if that does happen, if we do start out June within some much warmer and much wetter conditions out there, then we will make up for that May rainfall. However, if we go throughout the next 2/3 of June well below average, then that's what we're going to have to become concerned. But again, no concern until mid to late June for those drought conditions. Otherwise, other portions of the country, over towards the Carolinas, over towards Georgia, just some moderate drought. Florida, the only portion of the country right now still seeing some extreme drought conditions down there for some of those orange growers, and across the extreme southern portions of California here and across portions of New Mexico here, we are dealing with a few moderate drought conditions as well. Well, from the Climate Prediction Center here, as we take a look at the June outlook here for temperatures, again, a wide swath of cool air is possible across much of the southern states. The hot weather is going to stay down towards El Paso and Las Vegas here, and across much of the plains, though, especially the northern plains, there's about a 50-50 chance of seeing some mild and warm air continuing, and then also continuing on with some cooler air for southern portions of Nebraska all the way through Kansas. And as we take a look at the June precipitation from the Climate Prediction Center, again, most of our region is going to be under that 50-50 rain chance here, remaining dry and or giving a somewhat of a rain chance throughout June. But again, most of the southern states will be dealing with that rain chances as we go throughout much of June. So as you take a look at what's going to be going on this week, though, this upper ridge is going to build across most of the plains states, and this is going to give us some warm and drier air. This cool and active air is going to be pushed off to the east coast, and again, we're going to be dealing with a lot of drier and warmer air through at least the first week of June. Looking ahead at temperatures for this week, though, again, it's going to stay warm across much of the west coast. Again, much of the central plains, though, it's going to have much of a mild start to June. And again, that cooler air is going to stay off towards the Great Lakes east coast and much of the southern states cooler than average for June. And as we take a look at the precipitation for this week, again, rain chances for southern portions of Nebraska all the way down into Kansas, and we'll be left with some drier air as we go throughout the first week of June, relatively dry and small chances of rain as we go throughout the first week in June. We'll likely see some more activity for precip for the second week in June.
The North Dakota Soybean Council invests checkoff dollars to increase soybean demand, increase yields, and open new markets. The soybean checkoff has resulted in stronger prices and higher yielding varieties. Checkoff dollars fund research to bring solutions to farmers' greatest production challenges. Global demand for North Dakota soybeans for human consumption, animal feed, and commercial use has never been greater. Checkoff dollars, investing in a profitable future for North Dakota soybean farmers.
Where do you go for the latest news in agriculture? Agweek magazine. Reaching over 30,000 farmers and ranchers in North Dakota, Minnesota, South Dakota, and Montana. Agweek provides the most up-to-date information on the markets, the trends, and the people who make it all happen. We're your source for news, not fluff. Dependable, trusted. Agweek. Subscribe today by calling 1-800-811-2580.
Premier Shortline USA is your dealer for Meridian storage and grain handling. 50 years ago, Meridian Manufacturing designed the first smooth wall hopper bin. This innovation set the standard for hopper bins across North America, completely self-cleaning with no obstructions. Smooth wall hopper bins have become the preferred choice for safe and efficient storage. For temporary grain storage to complete systems, contact Nate or Brent at Premier Shortline USA.
Located in the heart of the Red River Valley, Bloomfield Enterprises sells the finest trailers and farm equipment in the business. Family owned and operated since 1997, Bloomfield Enterprises is your place for BBI spreaders and accessories. We pride ourselves on carrying a wide variety of inventory for our customers to choose from. With a full-service shop and repair center, we are committed to taking care of our customers before and after the sale. Whether you're in the market for a new trailer or quality farm equipment, we have just what you're looking for. Call us today or visit us online at bloomfieldenterprises.com.
This is Dennis Beliski reminding you we do auctions and we do them well. You've built your operation with hard work, and when it's time to sell, all or part, you deserve the best. Details from repairs and preparation to promotion and settlements are not routine. Chances are you'll only do this once, so we'll tailor an auction just for you and get it done right. On-site at your farm or added to one of our highly successful Alaris Center auctions, we have the skill, reputation, and integrity to meet your needs with best-in-class commitment and quality service. Find us at resourceauction.com or call 701-757-4015.
The Ag Week Soil Health Minute is sponsored by the North Dakota Corn Council and the North Dakota Soybean Council.
Soil salinity reduces crop yields and is difficult to manage. In this Soil Health Minute, Dr. Abby Wick shows us a demo site that's had some success managing salinity, thanks to cover crops.
Today we're going to talk about using cover crops to manage salinity. We started working in this field in 2014, and the entire area was white and had no vegetation growing on it. So since then, we've regained quite a bit of ground using cover crops like barley, radish, dwarf Essex rapeseed, and some sunflower. The north 10 acres of this field have salinity issues. So what we've decided to do is to keep the productive part of the field and growing cash crops, but take the 10 acres that are unproductive and put them into cover crops. So we'll take a look using a meter to measure soluble salts in the soil and how variable the salinity is on this site, and to also figure out what we need to do to remediate some of these bare areas that still remain. When we put the soluble salt meter under the vegetation, we see an EC of 4.8, which means we're making progress towards a salinity level that could actually support vegetation that's desirable. So now we're standing in a bare area of the field where you can still see we have some work to do. When it's dry, it's actually white. In this part, when we measure the soluble salt content, it's an 8.0. We can't get any vegetation to grow on this spot yet, so we'll have to work on trying to get some kind of mulch to reduce evaporation and keep the salts down. We'll continue to manage these bare areas using cover crops with the goal of either bringing this back into small grain production or to put it into a perennial grass or alfalfa. You can get more information on this site in the form of videos or also fact sheets on the NDSU Soil Health webpage.
This week's Crop Stop takes us to Cottington County in northeast South Dakota. Michael Barrett farms near Watertown. He grows corn and soybeans and operates a hay grinding business. Mikkel Pates found he got off to a good start this season.
Well, things look pretty good for crop progress right here in Cottington County, South Dakota.
We had a nice spring. It was drier than normal early, and we got an early start. Had a little cold weather and some moisture delays, but everything went in fast. In about a 2-week period, all our corn and beans were planted, and it went well. We're adequate for moisture, not abundant, but looks good right now.
When did you start and when did you finish?
We started late April 25th, 27th, and in about 2 weeks we finished all the corn and beans.
Wow. That's got to be a good feeling. Usually it doesn't go in quite that well, does it?
No, we planted for 15 days straight. No rain delays other than a small shower for an hour or two. So that's unusual.
So while planting progress has been spotty throughout the region, things look pretty good right here. For AgweekTV, this is Mikkel Pates at Watertown, South Dakota.
Barrett says a warm spell after planting got his crops off to a good start, but now cool weather has slowed things down. Still ahead on AgweekTV, we'll take you to the rodeo.
AM 970 WDAY, North Dakota's oldest radio station, has added the Red River Farm Network to its lineup. Join veteran farm broadcaster Mike Hergert and the rest of the Red River Farm Network's team as they partner with AM 970 WDAY and Agweek to cover the area's _1 industry, agriculture. Join us Monday through Friday for Country Morning Today starting at 7 a.m., opening markets at 8:30, and market updates will run at 9:30, 10:30, and 11:30. Closing markets will run at 1:30 p.m. Tune in to AM 970 WDAY.
Advanced Grain Handling is your regional dealer for grain handler dryers, bins, and accessories. With Grain Handler's continuous mix-flow drying systems, you're capable of high levels of grain dryer efficiency on all types of grain, including seed grain. Advanced Grain Handling also carries Batco belt conveyors field loaders, which minimize damage and help protect grade quality and germination performance of seed. Advanced Grain Handling has licensed and trained service techs and a licensed electrical shop. Contact Chad today.
Adventure awaits at the Farmers Union Camp, presented by the North Dakota Farmers Union. Farmers Union Camp is the perfect place for young campers to develop cooperation, teamwork, and leadership skills. Campers will enjoy theme nights, skits, games, talent shows, and more. Camps are held at Wesley Acres and Hart Butte in June, July, and August. Register by May 15th to get $25 off your camp fee. For camp dates and more information, visit us at ndfu.org or call 800-366-8331.
You make me wear my bike helmet. Taught me never to run with scissors. And to follow the swimming rules. You tell me to stay away from drugs. To always buckle my seatbelt.
So why do you keep a loaded gun in your drawer?
How safe is that?
You asked them to follow some safety rules. Now they're asking you. In fact, they're counting on you. Never let your gun get into the wrong hands. Remember, always lock it up. Visit ncpc.org.
I'm Jenny Garth, and as a mother of 3, I know kids worry about a lot of things. Getting enough food to eat shouldn't be one of them. But here in America, that is a real worry for 1 in 5 children. This is unacceptable, and something Feeding America is working to solve. Through a nationwide network of food banks, Feeding America serves virtually every community in the United States, including yours. See how you can help your community. Visit feedingamerica.org. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're Feeding America.
It's rodeo season, and for the 15th year, hundreds of people took their shot at roping, riding, mutton busting, and even something called a Candy Crush at the Foothills Rodeo in Wessington Springs, South Dakota. That's in the southeast corner of the state. There were more than 340 entries in 11 events. It was all topped off with a dance. The rodeo is part of the South Dakota Rodeo Association. Thanks for watching this week's edition of AgweekTV. Remember, for all your ag news, go to agweek.com. We'll see you next week.